Two people die on the same day. One is swallowed by water. The other closes their eyes in a fever. They die on the same day. They lie upon the same earth, and yet one enters a green paradise. The other walks through darkness for 4 years. This is not heaven and hell, not salvation and punishment, not judgment. But the Aztec world is different. Here, death is not a moral accounting. Who was kinder? Who was crueler? Who was more devout? None of that becomes the measure at the final threshold. Here, only one thing matters. Not how you lived, but how you died. The manner of death decides the destination of the soul. In that moment, the road splits, and once it splits, it does not come together again. Today, you will see the 5 deaths of the Aztecs. If you stay until the end, you will understand why the Aztecs did not see death only as terror, and why some deaths were seen as blessing, some as duty, and some as an endless rite of passage. The first death, the one who walks in darkness. He died an ordinary death, not in war, not by water, not in childbirth. He died the way most people did, slowly, through age or through sickness. And it is also the death that takes the longest. His body is given to fire, and beside him, a dog goes too. The Xoloitzcuintli, the hairless dog, the creature that knows the smell of the underworld before the dead themselves do. The dog goes first. The soul follows behind. It crosses a river, passes between closing mountains, climbs slopes lined with obsidian, walks through winds that strip the flesh, and stops before black water. The soul must keep walking, through broken roads, through deep darkness, until it reaches, at last, Mictlan, the world of the dead. The underworld realm ruled by Mictlan and Mictecacihuatl. This is not a place of punishment. It is where ordinary death finally arrives. But arrival does not come quickly. 4 years. An ordinary death does not end in an ordinary way. The most common death is the one that walks through darkness the longest. The second death, the one taken by water. He drowned. His breath ended in a cold river. He was claimed by the rain god, the same god who could drown you, strike you with lightning, or send sickness into the body. His road is different. He does not descend into darkness. He does not walk through winds like blades. The place he goes to is Tlalocan, the realm of Tlaloc, god of rain, a place where water, mist, and green life remain without withering. There, nothing dries out, nothing starves, nothing is harshly tested. Instead of darkness, there is green. Instead of trial, there is abundance. Here the soul walks no farther. He is buried. He is not given to flame like the other dead. His body settles like a seed, and here, death becomes not an ending, but a germination. Some deaths fall downward. Some pass through water and are carried straight into paradise. So water does not only devour. For some, water becomes the gate to a second world. The third death, the one who moves the sun. Blood is scattered. The chest is opened. The heart is lifted up, and blood burns toward the sun. In the Aztec world, the sun does not move by itself. It must be fed. It must receive blood and hearts. Only then does it cross the sky. So those who die in battle and those who are offered as sacrifice do not simply vanish. They rise beside the sun. From dawn until noon, they rise through the sky beside the burning disk. This death is not annihilation. It is service. It is labor that moves the heavens. They are the sacred attendants of the sun, the ones who uphold the first half of the day. And when enough time has passed, their souls become lighter. They shed the shape of the warrior, becoming butterflies or hummingbirds, drifting among flowers. A single flicker of wings in the light, a thin breeze carrying fragrance. It is not merely beautiful. It is the final, lightened form of one who once died in blood. The fourth death, the woman who returns. In this world, childbirth is a battle. The body opens, breath trembles. Another life is pulled into this world. So the woman who dies in childbirth is not a defeated woman. She is a warrior. Her funeral carries the weight of a warrior's funeral. Her body is guarded as sacred, left as something that still holds an untouchable force. Her soul, too, goes to the side of the sun. If warriors lead the sun from dawn until noon, then these women take over the path from noon until sunset. The sun does not set by itself. Someone must push it all the way to the end. And it is the women who died in childbirth who take that final stretch. But this is not the end of it. When time has passed and the sun has gone down, she returns. She does not remain a glorious attendant of daylight. She comes down instead as the terror of the night. She watches people in the dark. She harms children. She disturbs the mind. She makes the roads of the night feel cursed. She is no longer a living human being. She is Cihuateteo, a dead mother, a returning warrior, a being that stands at the crossing place of the night. This death is not a death that ends. Once she rises into the sky, then she comes back down to earth, and even after her return, people turn away from her path. The fifth death, the children beneath the tree of milk. A child who died before receiving a name, before tasting the food of this world, before being fully weaned. These children are sent along a different path. Cihuateteo. There is a tree there. Milk flows from its branches. The children feed beneath it, sleep beneath it, and wait. There is no pain, no wandering, no trial. They have been placed into a time that has not yet come. They remain there until the world opens again, until the time comes for them to return to the world. For the Aztecs, death is not a single door. Two people may die on the same day and still not go to the same place, because death is not one thing, because it is divided from the beginning, because with every different way of dying, a different world has already opened. In the final moment, the soul is given its destination, to darkness, to water, to the sun, to the night, or to the garden that waits before rebirth. And on another night, I will bring you another story from beyond the dark. If you want to hear more, join this ritual, subscribe, and keep the bell close. I'll be seeing you.